Welcome to Niger Delta today. Sincere apologies for bringing the program a little bit behind schedule. On the program, Niger Delta today showcases the diverse culture and tradition of the Niger Delta region. We will also bring you latest development within the region while also interacting with industry experts and locals on possible solutions to those challenges. I am Sifon Ode.
And I am Aberu Swogene Ebo. Welcome to the program.
All right, Awes, what do we have for today?
On today's edition, we will be looking at the update on Rivers State politics, as well as activities of Akwa Ibom State's NSCDC command against sea pirates and oil thieves. There's also the issue of the proposed Ogoja State matter and safety measures during a thunderstorm.
Okay, let's start from Rivers State, where the political fracas seems to have no end in sight. On one hand is the pro-Wike lawmakers, and the other hand is the pro-Fubara-led assembly. Normalcy seemed to have returned to Rivers State when the Okojumbo was sworn in the governor, when the governor presented the 2024 budget to Okojumbo-led assembly. Now, just last week, the Court of Appeal judgment recognized the pro-Wike lawmakers as members of the House of Assembly, and contrary to the decision of the State High Court, barring lawmakers led by Speaker Martins Amaule from sitting and parading themselves as members of the State House of Assembly. Following the court's decision, the Wike lawmakers yesterday decided to sit while they were sitting. The Victor Okojumbo section presided over another house sitting, screening a commissioner nominee sent in by Governor Fubara in a letter forwarded to the clerk, Dr. Gillis West. Don't forget that Amaule-led assembly on Monday gave Governor Fubara 7 days to represent the 2024 budget to the House of Assembly. So, while Nigerians were struggling to acclimatize with these developments, the Rivers State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt issued an ex parte order of interim injunction barring the Chief Judge of the state and the Clerk of the State House of Assembly from dealing with the Martins Amaule-led State Assembly. As we speak, the governor has sworn in the commissioner nominee and declared the Okojumbo-led assembly legitimate. Anyways, I'm afraid that the situation in Rivers is snowballing into anarchy. What do you think?
I think that's the right way to put it, because if you look at it carefully, you remember that it was in December last year that these factions sprung up, and it has actually trickled down now to the judicial system, which has been thrown into disarray, because the State High Court actually declared the Amawele's faction illegitimate. Then the Court of Appeal re-recognized them, meaning right now you cannot even depend on what the judicial system is saying. Because in Rivers State now, the only thing that can bring solution, peace, progress, and stability will have to be resolutions from a higher court or political negotiations. Because right now, no side is backing down. While this one is sitting and screening commissioner nominees, the other one is giving the governor ultimatum to present the budget for 2024, which was part of the broker deal that President Tinubu had with both Wike and Fubara, that there should be a representation of the 2024 budget. And now he has been given 7 days ultimatum. So all we need to do now is sit down and relax. We need to watch how this is going to unfold. But mind you, all the political party members are watching, because this whole thing began when they defected from the People's Democratic Party to APC, making them illegitimate members. But now the court has saying they are legitimate members, but they still sit separately. There cannot be true progress in a state like this when you have two separate sittings and everybody is at each other's throats.
Okay, let's take a look at the House proceedings here.
Mr. Speaker, these two judgments are subsisting and they have not been upturned. They have not been appealed against by a non-court to this committee, and so they are valid. So we are urging on this House to take steps to notify him, especially the governor, on the provisions and the conditions and bring a pronouncement of the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal.
Before they can say and claim Okojumbo has entered any appeal, the record of appeal must be transmitted to the upper court, which is the Supreme Court. We do not have any as at now. So this Court of Appeal judgment binds them. They must obey it. If they don't, they are inviting anarchy for themselves.
The day this house was proclaimed, it was Martins Amewule that has been the speaker and has remained the speaker. And that is what the Federal High Court judgment stated, and that is what the Court of Appeal has also stated in its judgment. And so the issue of speakership has never been a contention, an issue before this 10th Assembly. Pursuant to Section 122 of the Constitution, the Rivers State government, under its watch, is now barred from spending funds from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of Rivers State. So, the House hereby gives him the opportunity to present same within 7 days from the date of this resolution.
Oh, joining us in the studio is a legal professional, Barrister Umuma, who will be helping us to navigate through the political scene of Rivers State. You're welcome to the studio, Barrister Will.
It's a pleasure being here once again.
All right, a lot is happening in Rivers State. On one hand is the pro-Wike lawmaker, on the other hand is the Fubara-led, lawmakers. What is really happening? The courts of, judgment here and there. So what's really happening in Rivers State?
Well, you see, we are actually in a political era in Nigeria whereby even the government in the nation is battling with so many policies, so many distinct problems whereby there are a lot of things happening within and without. In Rivers State, we need to really be very frank that Rivers State for the past 24 years have never really been so stable when it has to do with the governors and successors of a thing. We've had that happening even before Mechi. We've had that happening in the Jonathan's administration. I think the only administration in Nigeria that Rivers State nearly escaped being in this comatose situation was the President Muhammadu Buhari's regime. But now they've gone back to the full circle. It's not a no news. Now, coming to really the issue in Rivers State, you come to realize that there are 3 members pro-Fubara as is being called. And then there's also the allegedly pro-Wike's 24 plus members. And if you really come to look at what is actually happening in Rivers State, there are a lot of issues and questions that beg to be answered legally. I want to really be very frank, legally speaking. Now, if we have a House of Assembly that have about 27 members, there's provision in the Constitution that actually spell out the minimum quorum that could actually sit as a legislature. Those are issues that Nigerians are not even really aware of, and I really want to bring this to the public notice.
Okay.
You know, the Constitution is so apt like that if you really go to Chapter 5 and then Part 2 and Section 96 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that has been an extant established law whereby before you even call yourself a legislative assembly of a House of a state, that means very well you must achieve a certain quorum before you can even start calling yourself that you're sitting as a legislative arm of government of a state. For instance, I'm saying this with due respect to the allegedly pro-Fubara's 3 members House of Assembly. That section of the Constitution provides that you must meet at least 1/3 of the total number of that House of Assembly for that state. And these are the major issues for you to really know if what you are doing actually can ever sell through. Now, for instance, if Rivers State have 37 House of Assembly members, the simple arithmetic is to sit and now purportedly believe that you are sitting as a House of Assembly. That means you must have had at least 1/3 of 27 members. The issue now is that the Victor Ojokumbo House of Assembly, as it is so called, do they meet that requirement of the Constitution? Would what they do or however they go about it, no matter how they feel, would they ever survive in the fact that the Constitution has so much stipulated this? Now you go to the Martin and Mefule, there are 24, so to speak, allegedly also sitting as a House of Assembly. Now if you also look at the part of the law, the section of justice, that's Chapter 5, Part 2, Section 9 of the Constitution, do they meet the 1/3 of the 27 members of House of Assembly? In a common arithmetic, Nigeria can actually figure out in the light of the law and the Constitution who actually could at least, for now, assume as if they are pretending to be sitting as House of Assembly, being that also is subject to what the Supreme Court will later say. Now, let's go back to the basic of the contention now. The pro-Fubaras being called went to the a court in Rivers State, a presumed high court, and now had a Pyrrhic victory. I call it Pyrrhic victory because that victory was momentary, and immediately the thing get to Federal High Court and went to Court of Appeal. Those things were actually nullified on the fact that the court they even went to achieve this Pyrrhic victory do not even have the power to have even gone into the issue that they presented before it. So that means very well all fall back to the decisions of the Federal High Court, which has not yet been nullified, and also the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which is superior court to all other lower court that each of the factions went to. So now the Martin and Amambule are actually sitting and resuming as a House of Assembly on a strong two judgment. One, a superior court, Court of Appeal, have actually found what the State High Court did in favor of the three victors led men to have been think that the court did not even have power to. And in law, when once it is declared that the court did not even have power, jurisdiction to even sit over a matter, it means that whatever decision that they arrive at the judgment, no matter how good and maybe consciousness it will be a nullity, cannot even stand. So now, the reality now set on the Rivers State people is that the Martin and Maule, as it is, has two very sound judgment, which is waiting to be nullified, except that happens at the Supreme Court. They remain in the eyes of the law as the legitimate people sitting as a lawful House of Assembly, that they've not just made the Chapter 5, Part 2, and Section 96 wanted. They've made that over, and they're also being supported by two very sound judgments for now. So until that is set aside by the Supreme Court, which I learned the other pro-football have actually taken a step to, the judgment, those other two judgments remains, and the Rivers State are left with a situation of facing Martin and Mobile legislative in that state.
Okay, but is the judiciary actually fanning the flame of this crisis? Because the decisions are coming from this court.
Exactly.
The issue is not about the judiciary. The issue is about knowing the law and actually what the law provides. You know, the fact is that there's always a difference between presumptions by the people, especially court of public opinion, where most time Nigerians rely on, and what actually is the law. What is the law? Just spell it out to you. For you to resume and say you are sitting as legislature for Kwem State House of Assembly, we have 30-something members. At least 1/3, you should be able to garner at least 1/3 of that number. So in Rivers State, 27. Who is with 1/3 right now? And they simply arithmetic shows that actually the Martins are actually, so actually in the part of the law, the court, no matter how you do, will not change what the constitution have said. Now, moreover, what were the issues that the other people went to court? A declaration that the other 20-something that purportedly defected were no more member.
Yes,
As any courts in Nigeria now so hold that position? No. Rather, the Court of Appeal are even saying that the court even declared that the purported vacancy and all those other judgments they have in the Rivers High Court were nullity. They did not have the jurisdiction. So until the probe goes to the real court that had the power to have looked into that issue, and that court now decide and say, yes, they actually defected, they are no more members of the PP or other thing. You cannot change the law, because the court must do what the law says, irrespective of how you feel. So the court will actually decide what is placed before them, the evidence before them. Remember the so-called other purported federal court that the Martins are actually holding strong to. You know, the matter, I stand to be corrected, the matter went to a point that I think the political party that these other members were said to have defected applied to join that suit. That is the People's Democratic Party. They joined the suit. And in the course of joining this suit, it was actually shown in evidence in that court, I stand to be corrected, that this purported defectment did not take place, that those were members of the People's Democratic Party. And I wonder when the leadership of a party in the state now goes to court and join a matter and say, these are our members, they never defected. And they even proved to the court that there had never been any resignation letter given to them. And those people also say they never resigned. You know, the fact is that the law is just as straight as it is. If the law has provided a way of doing a thing, failure to do it that way will actually render the doing of it in any other way a nullity. That means that if the law and the procedure says for you to say I have defected from APC to YPP, that I need to first write a resignation letter to my ward chairman in APC, and then also now write another letter to my proposed ward chairman in YPP. And the law court now says and asks maybe the pro-footballer that went to that court and say, please, can you present to us a purported resignation letter of these 24? And when they fail to show that, what do you expect the judiciary to do? Because the